My name is Luis Lievanos. I live in Tucson, Arizona, and Tucson is filled with different haunting sightings. Just like one of them is my great-grandmother who used to live in a haunted house. This is my great-grandmother. She used to live in a haunted house, so I would like to interview her. So, who was the first one that saw the Muchachita?
That was my mother. And then afterwards, she would come often, and the children at home would see her too. And I got married, and I lived away. I have my own home, and I saw her one night, and I was kind of scared. And but she moved from a closet onto the door, my bedroom door, and I said, "What do you want?" And no answer. And then I said, "Go away," you know. And then she turned around and came into the living room. And after she left, I got up to see, and she was gone. I didn't see nothing. So I didn't get to talk to her and see her again, you know. And that was the only time I've seen her here at my house. But at my mother's house, we used to see her quite often. My mother would see her. Everybody in the family would see her. And we were scared, but that was our home, and that's where we slept. And I had left my husband with my oldest daughter at my mother's while I was in the hospital. And my husband saw her, and he got real scared, and he pinched himself, and he said, "Oh my God." And then he got up and took a drink of water. But she would come often at my mother's house. It's an old house downtown. The house is still there. It's on Simpson Street. But I don't know if the people there have seen her or not. But we have asked other people that live there, and they have. Because after my mother died, we rented the house, and I'm the one that was taking care of it. And I had a young boy that came and wanted one bedroom for me to rent him one bedroom just for a few weeks. So I felt bad for him, and I said, "Yes, I'll rent it, you know, just for that week." And then next day he called me and he said, "No, I don't want to stay here. I saw a little girl coming through the door." And he got real scared, and he said, "I'm sorry, but I can't take it." And I said, "That's all right. You don't have to rent it, you know." And afterwards, we just rented the house, and we didn't get a lot of complaints, but they did see her too. But now, I don't know, the house is with new owners. I don't know if they've seen her or not.
So, what does she look like?
She looks very young. She looks about 12 years old. And she wears a white dress. She's always worn a white dress, you know. And not long. It's a short dress, but I mean, it's a dress.
Were you afraid of her?
Well, when I talked to her, no. But afterwards, I did. I was a little scared. Even here at home, when I saw her at my home, I got scared, you know. But I got up and came into the living room. And at that time, my husband had already died, so I was alone at home. But I haven't seen her since then, you know. And but she never did anything wrong or nothing, you know. She never talked or nothing. We're the ones that were talking to her, and she wouldn't answer. But I welcome her again if she comes here. She didn't do anything. She just turned around and came straight from in the hallway. She came straight to the living room. And when I got up and came in the living room, there was nothing here. And I haven't seen her since then.
Do you think there was anything paranormal or supernatural with that house?
What do you mean, like what natural?
So do you think that there was like a spiritual connection with the house or something like that?
No. I mean, we're Catholic, and we had saints in our room, you know, and everything. But nothing was touched. We always had them there in our room.
Where did she appear on Simpson?
She appeared in the bedrooms. There was one in the bedroom, and that bedroom was the third bedroom. And then you stepped down, and there was a porch, and which we had tall windows. We bought the house a long time ago after my father died. And this had happened to the previous neighbors too. They had seen her because they told my brother, have you seen a little girl? Or they started talking. My brother said yes. Well, the house was used as they used to have, serve dinners, beer, and people used to go dancing on the weekends. They had the backyard had a big cement, had a cement yard in the back where people would dance, and they had metal benches where people sat down and they would converse, or eat. But it was big, And after we bought the house, we found two of the benches, which we have, and other people got the other ones and took them home after it was empty. But it had a long porch, which the windows would open up. And at the end of the porch, there was a bathroom there, so people could use it. We're dancing outdoors. And then inside the porch, we served food. They would serve food. People that came to dance and all that. We had nothing to do with the dancing. This was before we bought it. But I mean, it was a big house, and we lived there, And then after my mother died, we kept the house for about 3 years more, and then we decided to sell it. We all had our own home by that time. We all got married and had our own home. The house is still there, but I haven't seen the inside. But there's other people that bought it now, and there's other people that used to rent it. It's a lovely house once you fix it up, My brother and we were 4 girls, 4 sisters, but they're all gone. I'm the only one left. I think I should have stayed with the house.
When the cousins had their weekend, what did they see? Can you tell me about that, please?
They never saw her that often, You just never know when she would come out, But you could go on a weekend and not see anything.
So, do you think the little girl died an untimely death?
I don't know, because I saw her. Oh, let me tell you one thing that happened at the house one day. This man from the newspaper came over and asked me if they could take a picture of a little girl. We had one of our little nieces dress up as a little girl, and we had one of my grandson and 2 of the photographer's kids. They took a picture because they wanted to make a story. The photographer took the picture and it never came out. There was like a fire, They took the picture, but instead of them coming out, it was like a fire. And the story has been out in the newspaper, and if anybody's interested, I have the story. We have it printed, It's very interesting. I kept the story so my kids could read about it,
Do you remember when your mom thought a man from the city who was fixing her house found a treasure in her walls?
Yes, they were fixing the plumbing in my mother's house one day. It was in the living room, but they had to make a big hole. And while they made the hole, the man disappeared. They never could find him. But he worked for the city, and when we called, they said they were going to be pending to do the job for a while because they were trying to find the man or what happened. But they never knew. So what they did, they got another contract and finished the work. But they had to get another worker to come and finish. So we don't know if the little girl came or what. But I don't think she's harmful.
What room did she come out of at the house on Simpson? Was it the room full of saint statues?
Yes, where my mother kept her saints. It was a bedroom. That's where she came out first. And my mother would hear her steps. And then she would say, "What are you doing? What do you want?" But she didn't see her, but she would hear the little girl's steps, there was noise. We got a little scared, but she didn't do anything. So, a lot of people have heard this story, and like on Halloween, a lot of them would come over to our house, School kids have been over. And my mother used to have punch for them, and they would talk about the Muchachita and all that. But She never harmed anybody,
What did Nana Suarez feel when the Muchachita visited? Can you tell me?
She welcomed her, she was nice and everything. She wasn't scared.
So, was there any kind of story with covers with her?
Yeah, my mother would pull him up and Muchachita would pull him down, but very slowly, My mother would just pull him up and leave him, and then pretty soon it would come down again.
So, what did Al feel? I heard that he told me about that he felt like a certain pressure.
He did. He got very scared, because we had never heard anything about this or nothing, that what had happened at the house. And he said, I don't ever want to sleep there again. Well, he was in bed, and that's when they started pulling down the covers, and then he sat up. He didn't see nothing, and then he tried to lay down, and then they were doing it again, and he pinched himself, and he said, what is this, And he said, I just started saying some prayers, and I got up and drank some water and then came back. But he said he was like a little scared because nothing was around that he could see. And then at my mother's house, it's an old house, and then the windows weren't in that good condition that you could put them up and they would stay up. You would always have to put like a stick underneath. And one day, some kids were there, and we were telling them about the story, and all of a sudden, one of the stick that was holding the window dropped, and here comes the window, bang, and all the kids ran outside. They got scared, and they said, "Oh, that's a Muchachita."
The house was supposed to sell bootleg liquor. Was there a trap door?
There was a trap door in the basement, going down to the basement. It had a basement, and my husband and my brother-in-law tried to get in there, but it was so thick of dirt and books, things they threw down there. They couldn't get down.
Do you think the Muchachita went through that room?
Oh, yes.
Did the U of A really go there to investigate?
Yes, they did. It came out in the newspaper quite a bit,
Did the family before you ever see anything like that?
Oh, yes. One of the boys told my brother, have you seen anything odd, And he said, like what? And he said, a little girl coming out. And he said, yeah, let me tell you. So it had come out on them. I guess every time everybody's been there, it's been come out. I want to go talk to this new owners, I would like to go see the house because they remodeled it, A few blocks down is Carrillo School, and one night all my cousins got together and went walking down there because there's a little shrine at the corner that there's been a lot of history about it, and they have like a little stone, like a little mountain there, and there's holes, and people put little what they want to say, like little notes in each of the little rocks there. A tiradito, they call it. That's a little shrine there. A lot of people go there.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. And we'll ask you more questions if there are. Thank you.
Yeah. And if they want to read the story, I still have the newspaper, where it came out.
So I thought that was scary, but what about that?
Hi, you're terrible.